car, initial report by the car, where we made those changes to include the FBI and the OSBI people and whomever would be associated as assistants of those agencies. And then the house part, the apartment 115, just that. And then this is not an issue here. And then sign your name here. And yes, sir.
Those on the wrong lines.
That's okay. That's okay. It's the information that's correct.
Okay.
And Craig and I will sign this.
When you were in school, you were an English major?
I never declared a major.
Was that where you were leaning?
It's what I was probably intending on being, yeah.
Do you see, I noticed that you liked Hunter Thompson. And do you see yourself as like a writer?
I always wanted to be, but I just didn't really have the skill. I mean, I haven't wrote anything in years.
Were you ever a journalist, where you would write journals? And
No.
were you that type of guy that would write a lot of journals?
No, well, I do have a blog, like online journal thing I write in. I haven't even wrote in it hardly in a couple of months.
Well, when you were writing your blog, what would you write? What would you do? What would you like to write about?
Mainly just, like what happened to me during the day.
It's like an online diary?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. We kind of go back. We've had the day just kind of went wham, wham, wham. It just took everybody kind of by surprise, I think.
Yeah, we were definitely surprised. We were shocked about our discovery with you, and it was a complete surprise to both of us.
But we think, I think at some point you realized you had to do the right thing and tell what happened.
Yeah.
And why don't you go right back from the very start? When did this kind of thought first occur to you to maybe do something like this? How long has this been with you?
A couple of months, probably. I was telling one of the guys earlier that, I don't know if it has anything to do with the medication I'm on or what, but because it started about the same time I went back on it.
Now, the first time you were on it, did you have that problem?
No, the first time I took the medication a year or two ago, seemed fine, but then about a month and a half ago I got back on it again, and ever since I started taking it again, I've just been eating constantly, just from the minute I get home to the minute I go to sleep. Nearly I eat. I've gained probably 20, 30 pounds in the last month, and about the same time I just seemed like started having all these weird fantasies and everything.
When did you think the first time in your life, and we understand this, I mean, what you experienced is nothing unusual. There are some people that fantasize, about different things that, for instance, one guy might fantasize being with 3 different women, and that's kind of what turns him on. And some people, their fantasies may go a little more violent. Some people, they might fantasize about handcuffing somebody and having sex. And it maybe progresses a little bit, but when do you first think you started having, fantasies of this nature? Was it as a teenager? Did you have this?
No, it was all recently.
Can you describe what your fantasy is for us, for the record?
Well, it started off as cannibalism. Just the, I wanted to know what it tasted like, and just the thought of eating, someone, was appealing to me. But then, it kept kind of evolving from there, because I am, sexually frustrated. I haven't had sex in 4 years.
Was it with, when you went out to San Francisco, did you?
No, well, I went out to Nevada to stay with that guy and his wife a couple of times.
Can you say their names, because I forgot,
We never told us. You told us you had knew a guy in the Navy. But that's all.
Oh, his name is Christopher Lansdale. And
Lansdale?
Yeah.
Christopher Lansdale.
He's in the Navy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you said he was stationed in Nevada?
Yeah.
Do you know what base it is?
Fowlin was the name of the town. was a naval air station.
Okay.
And now he's stationed down in Fort Worth somewhere. I don't know the name of the station though.
Oh, he's down at Fort Worth Naval Air
Yeah.
Station.
Yeah.
I've been by there.
But anyway, and like the second time I went out there, like me, like I'm his best friend, and then this girl was like, there was this other girl, Christina Bray. She was like his wife's best friend, and we, both took a bus out there together to go stay with him for a couple of weeks. And we ended up at the end of it, like when we came back to Oklahoma, going out a few times. It was, we went out like 4 or 5 times and had sex a couple of times, and then she just like stopped returning my phone calls. And that was the first and the last time I've ever had sex. So.
What was it like with her? Can you describe it?
Well, I'm very shy, and it was pretty awkward for me. I mean, she, I couldn't take the hit. She was like, she didn't even really want to go on a date. It turned out that's the reason she probably stopped taking my calls. Is she didn't want a boyfriend. She just wanted someone to have sex with, like once a week or two. And I kind of wanted a girlfriend, and I guess she wasn't okay with that, and so stopped talking to me.
Okay. Now, have you ever read about Jeremy Dahmer?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer, that's it. Did you ever read up on the internet? Because
I've never
would you
really
describe
Yeah, I've never really studied any of them in depth. I have on my DVD rack in the living room. You'll see there's a 2-disc DVD set of, it's like 4 episodes of some A&E special. One's like over Manson, and I can't even remember who they are. There's like 3 of them, 3 different killers, and then the 4th one, like just the kind of the investigative methods they used to find them. I mean, it wasn't at the time. It wasn't like, oh, I want to do this. It was just, it's like, oh, these are kind of interesting. So,
did that, as you were planning this out, did your knowledge of investigations that you've learned from watching A&E, did that play into any of this? Did you think about, well, this is what I need to do? Because, we all have experience of watching TV.
I'm feeling sick.
Bring that over to the channel.
Just very slightly. I mean, I didn't know much. I don't watch a lot of TV. But I, thought about, tried to imagine like steps I could take.
Give yourself a second. Okay.
Yeah, I might need some water, but.
Let's see if I can.
We're going to take a break here in the interview, and I'll note that it is now.
Hello.
Get you a couple more. What time do you have, Craig? When you're watching? When I start watching?
10:34.
It's now 10:34.
A bottle of water. Thank you.
And we're going to ask for a bottle of water. Fill up the resuming?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's,
We'll get you some
I'm
more.
good now.
We'll get you some water and we'll get started again.
Part of it's I'm just not used to talking this much. Keeps drying my mouth out. It's usually pretty quiet. I don't leave the house much.
Thank you.
Don't talk to anyone. I hate using the telephone.
Is it, I'll tell you, the thing about my personality is I'm a kind of guy, and I think you're the same way, but like in my office, I have things in a certain way. I mean, I put things in a certain place. Are you a planner? Are you a guy that likes to plan?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I certainly planned this out. I mean, I've been thinking about it for at least a month. So, about a month.
Now, was it specifically the girl in question, or was
No,
it?
I told the guy earlier it could have really been anyone. I mean, age and it wasn't even, it wasn't necessarily, a pedophile thing either. I mean, age and even gender didn't even really matter to me. I just, at first I just wanted basically to eat someone, and then it turned into, while I'm at it, I'm gonna, get off, have sex with him,
Were you going to have sex before or after, or both?
Well, my plan, my original plan, the way I had envisioned it all going was, I was gonna just like grab him and like,
Just any person?
yeah, well, I did kind of favor this girl a little. I'd seen her and I was like, I was kind of like, well, I'd really like her, but then as I saw her more and more, I'd think, no, I can't hurt her. She's nice. I know her too well.
What's her name for the record?
I didn't even know it until this happened. It was Jamie Bolin or something like that.
How did you learn of her name?
Newspaper.
Newspaper.
I didn't even know her name until today.
Is the account of the newspaper's description of Jamie Bolin the same girl that we're talking about for the purposes of this interview?
Seems like it. I had no idea she was 10. I would have sworn she was probably 12 or 13 by the way
Could
she
you just,
looked.
for the record, describe it before you continue on?
Describe her?
Yeah, her physical appearance.
She was had thin red hair, glasses. She was a little chubby.
And where did she live?
Upstairs and across.
Do you know the apartment number?
I was 115, so maybe I think like 213.
But it was up and across from you.
Yeah, upstairs and across the hall.
I just want to make sure I was clear on that, who it was. And you can go ahead with Mr. Overby's questions.
I don't know if you remember when we first talked, we mentioned her, and you said, I could never hurt her because she reminds me of my sister.
Yeah.
Why did you say that? Was that true, or were you, at the time, were you trying to throw us off? Or
That was, more or less something I thought of after I already did it.
okay. You thought that you could tell us later if you were ever asked, hey, I could never do this because she kind of looks like my sister anyway.
Kind of, yeah.
Did that play any part whatsoever? You got rage towards your sister or anger towards
not
your
at
sister?
all. This is, I said, I hate my parents finding out about this, and especially hate her finding out about this.
You love your family.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always been a mama's boy, too, so
Oh,
Nothing
okay.
wrong with that.
really hate that, because this will probably literally kill her because she wasn't in the best of health anyway.
Yeah. Now, tell us, as within the last month you started thinking about this, tell us the plan that you came up with in your head.
Well, like I said, I was just going to grab whoever, and I had some handcuffs and some duct tape. I was going to handcuff them and put the duct tape over their mouth so they couldn't scream.
Where's the handcuffs now?
Where are they? They're in, I have a bag in the closet that has a bunch of like porn and sex toys and stuff in it.
Okay.
And they're in there.
How long did
Which
you have?
closet is it? Is it the one
The
where
one,
the duct is? or
the one
where
the body was in.
Where the blue can-
big walk-in closet.
How long have you had that bag with the porn and the handcuffs and all that stuff?
Well, some of the stuff I've had for years.
Okay.
I don't think anything is a recent addition.
What kind of? Tell us what's in that bag.
Well, there's like a fake vagina, and then like I said, gender didn't even really matter. I've never done anything with a guy, but I've always been bi-curious. I got a vibrator and a couple of dildos. And, then there's some like novelty things like the handcuffs and blindfold.
Are they real functional handcuffs that would restrain somebody?
They've got the little releases on them. People could get out of them if they really tried. Yeah.
Okay. It's designed for.
Yeah. I
sex.
got them at a Christie's Toy Box at a sex store.
Okay. Have you always been interested in like, I guess like S&M games?
Not at all. No. Neither bondage or S&M. I just mainly got the handcuffs here about a year or so ago because there was a girl I liked who was kind of into handcuffs, and I was like, well, if ever end up getting involved with her.
It's something that you thought maybe you guys talked and you knew she liked that, and
Yeah.
was it an internet deal?
No, it was